these areas to get that Montgomery thing.
There it is right there, though. Each pharmacy, Kroger's, interesting. You know,
I just want to give me a different zip code.
then 709.
Okay.
Oh, you always see.
Outside.
You see that? That skin right there? I don't know what the hell y'all gonna have to take a ride. You know, outside now. That's where it's at. I don't see nothing down there on the south, man. Nothing that in. Unless you want to see right there, but after that, go ahead and come to the north and get right. All of the little towns. Jersey, Cypress. No reason. Nobody not had me turn up on the north.
So y'all got that five. We got that five. She could have hit her. Give me the zip code on Southside. Give me the zip code on Southside.
I don't know, nigga. I live over there. Hold on, let me see. I'm inside this. Yeah, man. I'm sitting outside.
Look, I told her I'm gonna find out. I don't have to get to it. So what this is telling me now, that Montgomery is everywhere in Houston.
I do try to take their ride. Y'all gotta put the code in. They deep.
On the side. The side was going out. You know, I'm trying to move streets.
On the south side.
Ain't nothing on the east side, but the people that job on this week. I'm just,
real bad anyway. They're gonna flood them out. And they gotta go downstairs and get down there somewhere.
Okay.
It's a way up here right here.
Yeah, I know.
Basket. They don't have to go there. Like that.
Gotcha. You know, man, you know what I'm saying? Got H time. It had the Montgomery gang everywhere, man. I'm scheduled.
That's the wrong place. You need to reschedule it. Apparently, that's what you said. That's what I'm here for. You need to go to the website and what you're saying. You go get right.
Vaccine I already paid for.
Oh, you in line. In line.
Full up. Get yours. We'll drop the link one more time because we are at the 2 hour mark. We spent a lot of time on the 3-minute video. And even though we're having fun right now, we'll get it toward the end of the video. I hope that have a group learn how to kind of do a little research and, look up some things kind of substantiate if it's telling the truth or not. There's a lot of falsehoods in sounded like he came out and said, I'm a doctor, so and 58 publications and 23 books, and he immediately to the authority of Malone and then stood on some false claims. He came through the back door and insinuated some other things. So, you know, this whole all his claims really came to the first quarter of his claims. The first claim. So it digested himself in Robert Malone's claims. So there's no independent work he's actually done or research to substantiate those things. The other part of that was pretty much conspiracy theories about infertility. What else? Infertility, sterilization. You know what I'm saying? The amount of people who's going to die. All of that, like he really did a real poor blood loss, a real poor job at doing that. But if you have a low education, not to offend anyone, if you have a low education in certain areas, you're not going to get into those things. And she get a lot of stuff that spread in 3 minutes, similar to the dude we listened to yesterday. A lot of stuff in that 3-minute spread and was unable to successfully present your data. He never said anything about masks. He said vaccines are going to kill people who get it in 3 months. About you, he said the vaccine. He said then he tried the vaccine. Basically, he was saying the vaccine alters your DNA and makes you less human. The moment that he said the vaccine, and then he turned around and said the vaccine will, and he said the vaccine will make you less human. You're no longer human. Wait a minute. What the hell? You can become more human? I guess you can become more human by not getting the vaccine. That was new to me. I didn't even know that you could become less human. I need to see a source on that. I read it. We got the vaccine thing. Nobody told us nothing. We just found information that he had no source. It's just like that. If we do what we can to that spread of the disease, then we're protecting our teachers and our children. Just to understand what we want to do whatever we could to decrease that spread. You can speak. We should be respectful of each other. Disappointed. Dr. Sean Brooks, PhD, 48 applications, including 23 books, that studied health, medicine, anatomy, and physiology for approximately 21 years. Oh man, who was that? That quick. Yo. What me? Here we go. Throw it from Oxford. No, stop. He is from Oxford. This is in Oxford, Ohio. No, stop. You ain't listening. Hey, Oxford. Bro, of Oxford, Ohio. You jump out the window. Is insinuating that this dude is from Oxford, like the university. Oh, no, that's what I'm saying. Listen to him.
Providing them an environment that decreases the spread of the disease. It's killed 5 million people. Some people, the whole point of vaccination is that most of us live through measles or mumps or so the other vaccine preventable diseases. But there's a small percentage who have far-reaching ramifications and problems or death. It's just like that. And if we do what we can to decrease that spread of the disease and protecting our teachers, just understand why we're going to decrease that spread. Should be respectful of each other. Dr. Sean Burns, PhD, 48 publications, including books studying medicine and physiology for approximately 21 years. AfRaKaN, who created the messenger RNA vaccine, said no one should ever take these jabs, ever, in any circumstance whatsoever. He created it, and he said don't ever do it. Let me explain what's going to happen to the people who have taken it. Excuse me. People who have taken it are going to die in the next 6 months to 5 years.
Bruh,
decreased only by 35%. The first jab did it by at least 15, the second did it by 35. If you take any booster shot, you will die. That's it. If you take a shot in the future, you will die. Second reason, antibody-dependent enhancement. Antibody-dependent enhancement is what has happened with these jabs with everybody who's taken them. Unless you've taken placebo. There's no way you would know that. That fact, antibody-dependent enhancement tricks the entire brain into believing that the cell that's eating the pathogen is eating it, but it isn't. It ends up leading to what's called a cytokine storm, which causes organ failure or death. And there's no stopping that. No amount of drugs will stop that.
So I'm just one thing that I repeated.
Third thing, blood clot. Everybody who's taking the jabs is blood clot. If you don't believe me, there's a way you can find out. Take what's called a T-timer test. What that does is that it detects blood clot at the microscopic level. Get full blood clots out of people now. As I talk to you, billions have died from the jabs. And you advocate for people to take jabs potentially in the future. Wearing masks, my parents say the same thing to the parents. Actually considering jabbing their children. We're going to sterilize them permanently. People who take the jabs are sterilized. 80% of women who have been jabbed have lost their children in the first trimester. You can't have kids. So inject yourself with the equivalent of HIV. You can't never know. Donate blood plasma or bone marrow. If you don't believe me, try to donate blood and blood plasma and what happens. You will be denied. So to live in California, in which case they're allowing people to donate toxic spike proteins. The jabs create spike proteins. The jabs cells. They create it by snapping your RNA in half. No longer a human anymore. Susceptible to countless diseases. Here's what's going to happen in the future. Will not stay open. Most because they will fall ill and they will die. Having all of your buildings will have its already
Thank you, sir.
happening. It's already happening in the bloodline. It's nothing that stops.
They do it about the
Hey, quick. Right, so this AD occurs when antibodies generate during immune response. Immune response recognizes the pathogen, but they are unable to prevent infection. Instead, these antibodies act as Trojan horse, allowing pathogens to get into the cells and exuberate the immune response. Okay, what causes this? Okay, the best study example of this is the dengue virus. The virus is one of the most common infections in the world, affecting hundreds of millions and killing tens of thousands of people each year. Like viruses like measles, mumps, that only have a type of dengue virus has 4 different forms called serotypes. These serotypes are very similar, but slightly differences among them set the stage for the ADE. Right now, this is not is there an ADE called by vaccines. Patients ADE as a result of vaccinations. RSV is a virus that commonly causes pneumonia in children. The vaccine was made by growing RSV, purifying it, and activating it with a chemical formaldehyde in clinical trials. Children who were given the vaccine were more likely to develop or die from pneumonia after infection with RSV. As a result, this finding the vaccine trial stopped. The vaccine was never submitted for approval or released to the public. A version of the measles vaccine was made by an activating measles virus using formaldehyde. Notice the key ingredient here, using formaldehyde, inactivating. So formaldehyde was activating something. So the children were vaccinated became infected with the measles and immunity developed high fever, rash, and typical pneumonia. While seeing these results, the vaccine was withdrawn from use, and those who received the vaccine were recommended to be vaccinated again using the live measles vaccine, which does not cause ADE and is still used today. All right, now, the picture, anybody enhancing the SARS-CoV-2 vaccines and therapies, so this right here, but that is not what you want to know. The COVID-19 vaccines cause enhanced diseases. All right.
all you had to do was to test on your post and continuously talk about how you didn't do this.
The do on my post, I don't know. So
I already know you're talking about. You play right here. How you go that type of information, but you skip over the that's not valid, credible. Credible sources. That's all I got to say.
all right, so the answer is by an infectious disease expert, MD. Anybody who did enhancement is something researchers watch very carefully for, and extremely rare. In ADE, certain antibodies make it easier for viruses to get into the system today because it would mean the virus or vaccine makes people more at risk for severe disease. If the COVID-19 vaccine causes ADE, people who are vaccinated against COVID-19 have more severe disease. This is not happening. On the contrary, people who are vaccinated typically have very mild disease or none at all. In fact, the majority of COVID-19 deaths in the U.S. are people who aren't fully vaccinated. In May, fully vaccinated people made up just 0.8% of COVID-19 deaths. And 99.2% of COVID deaths were unvaccinated people. COVID-19 vaccines are safe. 155 million, now 170 million in the United States for vaccinated. COVID-19 vaccines protect you from severe disease and death. Your vaccine is better. It's just simple. That's
I like that. and the good.
What you talking about? You see, I can't see what you're saying. What you talking about? Oh,
Took it up.
okay. Oh wow. Okay, let me put these sources in the chat. Like I said, I want us to deal with all the guys' claims. And more to listen to, I might hear something or make sure that y'all have available information to refute the claims. Yeah, I might be overly exhausting people with data, but and you know that when you're dealing with people that watch these 3 minute videos, they have 2 minutes to read a 30-second article or a minute article. So I don't know most people that make their mind up and they won't deal with it at all. So they'll give you a video with all this information and then reject your source that comes this information. On YouTube, because it ain't on YouTube, so YouTube gives you this out of the way. So like the mRNA vaccines and leakage. Now my brother can talk this time.
He got COVID.
Chronic.
We talking about regularly and following vaccination of 4 months.
Who vaccinated 4 months old? No, read the article again. What does it say?
And I'm following vaccination in a 4 months.
Can you pull up? Let me stop sharing the article. Let's see what that is. Let's see if it's mRNA vaccine.
And put it up on the chat.
You just right now, put it up.
Oh, there you go.
Oh my
If you this is based on the date. What?
January 2017. That's not mRNA vaccine, bro.
Is that the link he dropped?
He just jumped out the window. He can't see that. He didn't see it 2017.
No, you can still crazy get it from. Where can we find that? Because there's no motherfuckers that are vaccinated.
He got statement now.
No, hold on. Before my mother was vaccinated, and they still have antibodies from the mother being vaccinated. It's like it's being administered a vaccine. It have nothing to do. You say anything else? I told him I just dropped the link in the chat, bro, so we can say what we need to say. And that's what right there. Say, the cloth of paper mask is a moisture bacteria fungi virus collector and made with hand delivered germs that are easily sucked through the cloth of paper mask inhale. Okay. I know what they say. They understand. It has nothing to do with the barrier. Your it's reducing they come on, man. Yeah,
stop trying to play smart on any task, man. Real people, smart people out here. People recognize dumb shit real fast. Shit. Hop on, bring it to the phone.
Yeah, hop on this thing.
So we can discuss this mass issue that we have with Susanna.
I got Charles.
See more people actually vaccinated. FDA approved this Pfizer vaccine. I've been seeing motherfuckers use that as an excuse for so long. What ain't FDA approved? They don't go through the same steps. Actually, they do. But okay, it's about to be. Okay, boy. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't.
She ain't talking about the mask. And, okay, what metric did you use to make it certain that everyone like you here is a certain number? Please demonstrate how you came to that conclusion. I'll show you how you do stuff.
That's the corner. She's staying on. She doesn't talk and shit.
Steve's back. So Steve, understand that we can pull up the pre-phase trials to the vaccine and review that data and demonstrate to you that you don't know what you're talking about. No. What?
Vaccine, mRNA vaccine causes chronic leakage. Come on, bro. Bring that stuff for that. Was 2017.
That's we talking about what we did put up in last place. You can get intellectually. You don't drag you out there with that. So we're not bringing some at least 2019 so you can start having a conversation. I was on the desktop. Yeah, who was that? I was doing the IQ test intelligence. That was a big thing.
They say
Now we're not into linguistics. And so I first started playing, and I can suspect it, and there she is.
Yeah, you better be sure.
You kind of on YouTube about they need to be black. You don't speak English. So I don't even know what that is. You know what that is? We don't know about that.
If we speak phonics, are you familiar with that?
Are you familiar with African American English?
like motherfuckers to get
like a book from Sean. She thinks it's ain't like
yeah. I'm sitting to the corner. Daniel, I'm start calling Daniel. If you want, I'm on the phone. You know what?
connect nothing because it is a dialect in itself. We switch back and forth right now. That's why you just call code switch. You know what I'm saying? Got a chapter on that. Like you code. Look out.
Oh, should I switch that? Yeah, let me sit down to the corner too. Just switch. YouTube, man, put that shit up anyway. So now you know, another one. There's gotta be some motherfuckers from up north, bro.
Like, it may be one of the North African or something, or just a plain uneducated individual.
Why? This picture and your name is Hector.
For trouble. We on the head. That's trouble. We got nothing up here. We press everything.
But still go.
Smoke.
Time of day.
Yo, what's in the phone? You think 10 minutes, an hour in the corner.
Yeah, man. You gotta sit and reflect. You gonna get on top. I'm about to go back and watch. See what dude was talking about. 'Cause I ain't watched that video. I just went back to it was on Instagram.
It's slick.
That we keep from the university.
Yes, PhD.
This is
Immediately went to the lack of methodology, authority or something that did not take shit. He did some shit. He ain't do what he said he did. He gave some methods or something. He didn't even participate in. I don't find his name nowhere on the Pfizer or Moderna studies. He had nothing to do with it. He had breakthroughs, scientific breakthroughs, and they're not based off one person. It's a collective effort. So to say that one individual is responsible, that is a lie. You don't even just say she's responsible for in the process. She has something to do with it. She can do it on her own. She will tell you that. It's a whole team. That's exactly what they are. That's exactly what they are. On Facebook and Twitter.
So bad when I pull out information, scientific information to give you about your family or searching and you put back with them. Like, bro, I'd be so motherfucking mad. You gonna hit me with a pin?
That's where we get our references from. We can't even pull that shit up. Like, how are we supposed to reference the meme? How does that work? Can't even tell you when it was created or something like that.
Once they be hitting me with it, it done too pull up. It just me with a lot of face. I just took the vaccine. Okay, yeah, that's funny. Just scientific data, bro.
Ain't real though. You believe all that? You believe all those facts? No, I have to believe. I pretty much that they're giving us steps to know. Like, you ever read a scientific journal that got different sections? Like, come on, man. I'm like,
He one of the main spread this propaganda. They already propaganda.
Yes, you know, I just bold. I just part. I know what. I didn't know him.
I thought he was too.
Oh, so much shit. You don't know. Ain't no Islam is members name. Islam. Muhammad. I'm not deep. Not Islam, bro. Like, come on, bro. He just
I'm gonna play the video.
not back.
Take it.
There are serious adverse effects of the vaccine. The Miami doctor
a video about that already, but since that video, I've learned some new things about that case and to report about in my next video. But for this video, I'm going to look at the overall benefits versus the risks of the vaccines, particularly mRNA vaccines, Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Vaccines contain a tiny piece of mRNA, messenger RNA, that allows the cells of the body to make some proteins, in this case, antigens. These antigens then stimulate the immune system to make antibodies, specifically become ready to attack the antigens of the virus. So these mRNA vaccines make the immune system get to work in a very specific manner, much like the size from this clip. On the contrary, a virus attacks to inflate the bomb goes up in the immune system, start to get messy. This is why immunological processes like Guillain-Barré syndrome, myocarditis, immune thrombocytopenia, these are all immunological processes that are actually worse when you have a viral infection. So you have a viral infection, and these things can happen as a result of the immune system sort of going haywire. They can also occur after a vaccine is given, but it's less likely to occur with a vaccine compared to a virus. The vaccines can also cause other immunological processes, such as allergic reactions. Sometimes the allergic reaction is so bad that it causes anaphylaxis, which is a life-threatening condition. So what are the odds of developing a serious adverse event after COVID vaccination, such as GBS, meaning Guillain-Barré syndrome, or myocarditis? And how often have people died as a result of the vaccine? Let's take a closer look, and we'll start with anaphylaxis. From December 14th of 2020 through January 18th of 2021, a total of 9.9 million doses of the Pfizer vaccine and 7.5 million doses of the Moderna vaccine were given in the United States. CDC identified 66 case reports of anaphylaxis during that time. 47 of which were of the Pfizer vaccine, which is a reporting rate of 4.7 cases per million doses administered. For Moderna, there were 19 cases, which gives a reporting rate of 2.5 cases per million doses. So of all these cases of anaphylaxis, the number of deaths was 0. So the chances of getting anaphylaxis with the vaccine, this is the chances of you getting stress lightning over the course of the next year. The chances of dying from a lightning strike are way higher than the chances of dying from anaphylaxis to the vaccine.
Black history is a continuum. It's who you are, who we are, and who we will become.
As of July 22nd of this year, there's been 187 million people in the U.S. who received at least one dose of the COVID vaccine. Those monitoring safety surveillance as the history of serious adverse events after COVID vaccination are rare. One medical condition that has been reported in people shortly after they receive the vaccine is something called thrombosis with thrombocytopenia syndrome, or TTS for short. It's also known as VIT, meaning vaccine-induced thrombosis with thrombocytopenia. Thrombosis means blood clots, and then thrombocytopenia means low platelets. The majority of this year, there have been 12.6 million doses of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine given in the U.S., and there have been 30 cases of TTS within 15 days of getting that vaccine. So it's about 3 cases per million doses given. All 30 cases of TTS, 4 died. The groups that had the highest rate was that of females aged 30 to 49, in which in that group there were about 9 cases per million doses given. And something that I would want to know is how many of these women were on birth control, because that in itself is a risk factor for getting blood clots. Another condition is Guillain-Barré syndrome. It's a rare autoimmune neurologic disorder caused by weakness and sometimes paralysis. So some cases have the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. That is reported as 100 reports of GBS after the Johnson & Johnson vaccine were received during February 27th and 30th. So the GBS reporting rate was 7.8 cases per million vaccine doses administered. Among subgroups based on the sex and age, the reporting rate of theirs was highest among men aged 50 to 64, with 15.6 cases per million Johnson & Johnson vaccines given. Of the 100 cases of Guillain-Barré syndrome, none of them died. And that is myocarditis, meaning heart inflammation. There have been some cases after the mRNA vaccines, mostly in young males. So after June 30th, 151 million doses of mRNA vaccines have been given to those 18 and older.
dose. So that's 3.5 cases per million second doses. In the subgroup analyses, the reporting rate was highest among males aged 18 to 29, which was 24 cases per million. And there were no confirmed myocarditis associated deaths. Some might say, well, what about the 13-year-old boy of Michigan who had presumably myocarditis after he received the Pfizer vaccine? That's all the cases so far. We don't have the reported CDC numbers with the 12 to 17 age group available. So the Pfizer has been approved for 12 to 17 ages based on studies showing safety, and now the Moderna vaccine has been shown to be safe in that same age 12 to 17. So in summary, overall, when it comes to these three vaccines, the groups that have a slightly higher risk is going to be men aged 50 to 64 with the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. They have a slightly higher risk of developing Guillain-Barré syndrome. Then there's the women aged 30 to 59 with the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. They have a slightly higher risk of developing TTS. And then you have males aged 18 to 29 who have a slightly higher risk of myocarditis with the mRNA vaccines, probably extends to age 12 to 17. So how do the risks compare to the benefits of the vaccine? The vaccines are very effective at preventing or mitigating COVID illness, especially when we talk about preventing COVID hospitalizations and deaths. These benefits far outweigh the risks of anaphylaxis and brace-home TTS and myocarditis. In the U.S., the total number of deaths estimated to have been prevented by the vaccines is 79,000. Most of the vaccines in the U.S. have been Pfizer and Moderna, and this is easy to realize because 99% of those who are dying from COVID are unvaccinated. The J&J vaccine for every million doses given to males aged 50 to 64 has 1,800 COVID hospitalizations and 140 deaths could be prevented, as compared with 15 embraced cases in TBS cases. So the vaccine benefits are actually being underestimated because the analysis did not include potential benefits of preventing long and host conditions. For example, people who developed myocarditis as a result of the virus, not the vaccine. The CDC ACIP conclusion regarding the benefit-risk assessment on July 22nd, vaccination of any of the available COVID vaccines in the United States is recommended for all adults, in addition to Pfizer for the 12 to 17 age group. So Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson, but for the 12 to 17, so far it's just Pfizer. And based on the new Journal of Medicine study, we can soon expect to see Moderna, the EU, for that age group as well. The Delta variant is the most contagious variant yet, and with kids going back to school soon, this will be all more important. About 94,000 kids got COVID-19 last week, which made up 50% of all new cases. But the Delta variant is more prone to having more serious COVID illness. So also clear, less than 2% of all child COVID cases regard hospitalization. So far, vaccines for kids are still in clinical trials, so we'll see if the benefits outweigh the risks.
I got an assessment of the risk outweigh the benefits for fact into account. See the control system check. You got to sign out again. If you don't want to the panel, no one else knows. So they say this is not even the vaccine. The Johnson & Johnson is an vaccine.
They don't have shit to do with polio, and it's not live. So it's literally nothing to do with what we can discuss right now. A clear distraction and a way to we end up looking at what you're talking about. We're going to end up on that she was the details and look at the specific context in which people pulling stuff out of our ass. Or whatever on the she we don't have mRNA vaccines don't have a lot of that whole thing that she just in there. Boy, it's epic fail. Let's try it. Let's try again. mRNA of SARS-CoV-2, put it in adenovirus, and that's the virus. We can get the whole thing on that. I think on my support, FDA, the whole vaccine. Virus is how the virus is harmless as shit. Come on, man. 2021, all the way to what was that? 1976. Yeah. That's a pre-reach. The person just went to try to make that. How many years is that? This person is the dumbest that we have in the chat so far. I don't know what arrows and shit. And I be standing next to the dude with the armor. Ooh, you know what? Hey. Yeah. That was a scientifically have a like you leadership person was extremely low. No.
I had the super a lot of shit. Just for a 4-hour flash. So this niggas went live. I just certified. We got to a top discussion.
Like that be difficult for so many contextual ways. What are we talking about?
We had to get the criteria in order, but shit, we talk about top 5 of them. Might well put it all in there.
Just overall, who got everything.
Way to be a motherfucker off rip. I think it might to go by like decades.
I don't know if I'm gonna have one in my time.
Yeah, you on top 5. Now it's the difference between top 5 and the top 5. See, like in my top 5, I'm on the highway, but you know, in the top 5, I gotta be subjective and say, yo, man, been killing this shit for a lot of years.
He ain't getting mine. He give me top 10, maybe 15, but like 5. You already know. That's top 5. For me, I'm going. It's the Houston guys. I'm gonna go lower than that, just because I'm gonna go J-Lo, but they don't have no. It's a lot of criteria you have to assess, man. I like material, but it's like, of course, it's about a show for me. Devin, apart from rapping, Devin got to be in there. And Diggy for me got to be in there because that's easy to get for me, the blueprint of even how to storytell rap and big bars like that, like serious.
Hey, man, what's new? Gotta be careful, man. That's what you would like. That's your top 5. That's your top 5. Not for me, man. Not for me.
I really don't it's like a social science right now. It's social science right now.
You know, they're still developing these other respiratory issues and so on and so forth. So food is not curing. How much? I exercise. Okay, I did the Dr. Sebi diet. All right, Dr. Ma can attest to it. She knows that I don't eat meat. Right? I got 32 gallons of alkaline water in my pantry every 2 weeks. I drank 1.5 gallons a day. I know exactly what you're saying. And I'm telling you, it does not cause an immune response. We have brothers and sisters who are on Dr. Sebi's plan. It's not the diet. It's not none of that. because it's not creating an immune response. I specifically asked because we have to be preventative here. If not vaccines, then what? That's all I got. Thank you.
I'm up here talking away and my mic was muted. All right. Thank you so much, Brother Sean P. and Baba Kidi Owadu. Family. Take a moment out to share this video if you haven't already. Share this video on all of your social media platforms. And also, family, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I know some people are watching this on Facebook. And I'm going to stop live streaming on Facebook, by the way. You know, Facebook might have 2 or 3 people, Brother Sean P. But then when you come over to YouTube, you know, you might have 40 or 50 people on YouTube. So
you got a nice crowd in here.
Yeah. So I'm thinking about, you know, I try to live stream on multiple platforms, but I'm leaning towards just sticking with YouTube. So people who are watching on Facebook, please head on over to YouTube, type in Dr. Oyama. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the notification bell so that as soon as I go live, you will be notified. Also, family, I'm looking at the chat. The sisters are in the building.
I don't know what we can talk about in this nation without talking about white superiority, honestly.
Who defines the meaning of God also defines the relationship between economy and God.
African Americans spent $1.3 trillion last year, making us the 16th wealthiest nation in the world. Why have we not turned those riches into wealth to develop our community?
I am currently in a class with Mfudishi. And I tell you, I remember things because of his spirit and the way that you say it and the stories that you tell along with it. He teaches a meta-nature class. Actually, you teach a lot of different classes, but the one that I'm in is a basic meta-nature class. Can you first just explain like what meta-nature is that for someone who doesn't know? We'll start there, just what it is.
Okay. The word Madu Necha means the divine words of the creator by an elder. So they assume that the elder who has been tapped into the Necharu and to the culture is speaking with authority and speaking with intellect. So it's divine words of the Necharu, of nature. So, and they use symbols of nature to define these words. So they use animal symbols, symbols of everyday working, symbols of houses, symbols of birds and animals and things like that in nature, because I teach people that there's 5 domains that you must master in order to be on a real high level. The first domain is the mineral domain. See, the sun is a mineral, the stars, the planet, the earth is a mineral, and you are made of stardust, the same material. But if you're ignorant of that, you can't use it to your advantage. Like you got nickel, copper, uranium, you got all that in your body. In fact, if you wear something with iron in it or magnetism, it helps illuminate the body and help the flow of energy. But if you're ignorant of that, then you miss that. Copper will also help protect you from 5G and all of this stuff bombard you in that. You got copper in your bottom, and melanated dominated people have more of those elements than folks who don't have melanin. We're carbon-based units. So that's the first domain, the mineral domain. Then you have the plant domain. The plant domain feeds off of the mineral domain. And it's our substance, our food source. You understand? It's our food. It's your medicine and your food, the plant domain. Chlorophyll is to plants as melanin is to animals.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It takes sunlight and turn it into energy that can be utilized for food. Most people who live above Florida, who are melanated people, have a vitamin D deficiency because we don't get enough sun. So that's why I'm outside 8 hours a day. I'm getting my melanin on, even though I'm in New York.
Yeah. Yes.
So I try to tell people, if you have an office, something, go eat your lunch outside. Go for a walk in the park during the lunch. After work, walk out. Go for a walk. Go into the forest areas. Go out. Let your feet touch the soil or the grass, you know. But you got to get out in raw. So that's the plant domain. Then the third domain is the animal domain, All animals were here before we were. I'll say it again. All animals were here before we were. We're the last on the scene. Animals are not here. They weren't placed here as our food source. Okay. I saw somebody and they were showing their little girl a rooster. And the mother said, "Baby, what's that?" And she looked at the rooster and she said, "Chicken McNuggets." See, the bird with chicken McNuggets. Like, I mean, that's how bad we are. That's how, we are decrepit. Animals are not your food source. You should be eating a plant-based diet. Okay? And animals that does eat animals don't eat animals that eat animals. Okay, so animals who do eat other animals eat plant-based animals. Okay. And the most powerful, strongest creatures on the planet are vegetarians. There's nothing more powerful than the elephant. Nothing more powerful than a gorilla from the Congo, a rhino. All of these things are vegetarians. The buffalo, these are the most powerful land animals. They're all vegetarians.
Wow.
So I just need you to, to grab that in. Source of protein should come from, where the animal getting the protein from? You want to eat the animal protein. No, eat the protein where the animal is getting his from.
Yep, plants. Okay.
So, and if you study animals, so we're going back to the glyphs again, because we study the animal domain, we use the glyphs of animals that were important in our culture and that tapped into our consciousness and helped us be better human beings. So the falcon, each king depicted himself as a falcon, Haru, because the falcon is the pelican falcon is the fastest flying bird. No, let me stop. It's the fastest creature on the planet Earth. It can fly at a speed of 280 miles per hour. As it swoops down on its enemy, it has an extra eyelid. It's the only creature that can look directly at the sun.
Wow.
While it blinds its opponent, bam, it strikes him in the air and you just see feathers.
Wow.
He can go underwater 20, 30, 40 meters and come out with a fish in his tail line. That means he has to calculate the speed, the bend of light in the water, and the speed of the fish, if he's not accurate. And what blows your mind is when he comes out of the water, he's dry. Aerodynamics.
Wow.
So the king is trying to let you know you can't hide, you can't outrun me, and I'm the baddest guy that exists out there. So he depicts himself as a great falcon. Okay. So, but if you don't know nothing about bird, you be saying, "Oh man, the king looked like a pigeon." You don't know nothing about nature. You don't even understand the association.
Okay.
So once you understand that, and animals will tell you how to survive in each domain. So if you want to know how to survive in the savannah, the great grasslands, you imitate the predators, the lion, the cheetah, the jaguar, the cobra. You imitate these great predators, right? If you were in the desert, you imitate animals who are surviving in the desert. If you're in the rainforest, you imitate animals who are surviving and flourishing in the rainforest. You see, they're our teachers, not our dinner. Okay.
No chicken nuggets.
No chicken McNuggets. Okay. So now humans don't understand human beings because we don't know nothing about nothing else. We don't know the minerals who make us up. We don't know the plants are supposed to be sustaining us as health-wise and food and medicine. And we're too busy killing all the animals. So we haven't learned about it. And that's the general nature of human beings. We're ignorant. Ignorance is the greatest disease known to man. Ignorance is the greatest disease. And animals and nature is here to teach you. Okay, but we're so busy following the Wazungu who don't know nothing about anything.
Okay, great. So I got to back you up. The Wazunga. Explain so everybody knows.
All right, hold on. I'll go back to Wazunga. Let me just do the fifth element. Okay, so we had mineral, plant, animal, then human. Human is supposed to be learning from all of those elements. That makes you so powerful of who you are. And we have the power of speech. That means to be able to express what's in your mind. and or what's in your temple, right? And if you take care of your temples, it will help you be on the highest level possible. Your first temple is your mind, spiritual temple. Your second temple is your heart that connects you to everything around you. Your third temple is your physical body. Keep it toned, clean, in shape, and ready to go. Your fourth temple is your personal home, your shrine, your altar. And the fifth temple is nature, being in the park, in the forest. If you keep them all clean, keep them all on a high spiritual level, they all take care of you. You understand that? Okay. So, and the fifth temple or the fifth domain is the spirit domain. And spirit is connected to everything. There's spirit in the minerals.
If there ever existed a real African Wakanda from Marvel's universe, it would definitely come from the empires of Zimbabwe. Just about all their kings were Black Panthers. What up, y'all? It's your boy Home Team here. I'm back at it with another video of African history, culture, and worldview. And today we're going to talk about the Mutapa and Wazwi empires. For those of you that live on the rock, Marvel's universe has created many fictional superheroes that has literally stood the test of time and influenced many people around the world. One of these influential superheroes was Black Panther of Wakanda. Now, Wakanda was a very powerful African nation that had access to the most desired resource in the Marvel universe, vibranium, which is like the plight of most African nations today. Vibranium gave Wakanda riches, power, and technological advancement that the Black Panthers sought to protect. Wakanda set itself out to the world as they knew others would try and take this resource and destroy Wakanda. In the Marvel Universe, all attempts to subjugate Wakanda failed miserably. The Black Panther became the pride and joy of African nationhood, and Wakanda a world power. Now, although this is a fictional story, there are some elements of truth to it when we consider the history of the African continent. There were many African nations with Wakanda-like characteristics, but the region that mimicked Wakanda in totality was hands down the Mutapa and Wazwi empires of 15th century Zimbabwe. These people had enormous amounts of desired resources, power, and even technological advancement that wasn't present anywhere south of the Sahara. First, let's begin with the precursor to the Mutapa and Wazwi empires, the Kingdom of Great Zimbabwe. The Kingdom of Zimbabwe was a very powerful state that existed in 1220, and its capital was Great Zimbabwe. The Kingdom of Zimbabwe was founded by the Shona people of southern Africa, and their empire began forming around the same time as the Mali Empire in West Africa. Great Zimbabwe's wealth and power allowed the Shona to build elaborate stone structures, which became the largest stone structures built south of the Sahara. And one of the impressive things about these structures was that the Shona built them without mortar, a technological feat that seemed to surpass other Africans in the region. One Portuguese traveler witnessed the stone structures of Great Zimbabwe and was impressed. The Chronicle of De Barros states, among the gold mines of the inland plains between the Limpopo and Zambezi.
Dancing was born on the continent of Africa, and that is why Africans are the greatest dancers the world has ever seen. Yeah, I know, some of you might not agree, but watch the end of this video and I will show you just why Africans are the greatest dancers and why we have the best dances and why we are so unique and different from most people of the world, because every African dance tells a story and means a thing. So back to the video. African dance is a lot of things and has been described in so many different ways. It could be art, it's visual, it's energetic, it's recreational, but above all, African dances are educational. Did you know that African culture, African education was often transmitted through dance and music, and that was some way the older generation could pass on to the next generation stories about events that have happened, and we're going to see how that happens in so many different scenarios in the life of a typical AfRaKaN. So if you're not African, well, sit back, relax, and enjoy this. But I can assure you that if you're African, then I'm sure we're going to talk about something that would give you some real good memories, because you'll be able to relate to a lot of the stuff that I am going to talk about in this video. So when do we dance? We dance in every situation. The typical African has a dance for every situation. So we have different dances with which we mark various milestones in the cycle of life. Then there are marriages, there are Ghanaian undertakers. Yeah, they kind of became famous in the year 2020 when their dances went viral.
Baba God, èmi náà fẹ́ wá range o. Dangote olórí méjì, na beg I dey beg o. Ọlọ́run ọ̀run, èmi náà fẹ́ wá Bentley, Ọ̀tẹ́dọ́lá olórí méjì, na beg I dey beg o. Àfẹ́yànà, I don go wedding tire, many Saturday e don pass, and I never marry. Olúwa provide mo o, àwọn ẹgbẹ́ mi ń kọ́lé. Wọ́n bí mọ̀lẹ́mọ̀ o, èmi náà fẹ́ yayọ̀ o, Olúwa dá mi lóhùn o. Mama jẹ́ kẹ́nìbọ̀dì bèrè pé bó lọ́lọ́run mi wà o. No put me to shame o, ẹ jọ̀wọ́ bàbá answer my call o. Mama jẹ́ kẹ́nìbọ̀dì rí tèmi wí, kọ́ má rí tèmi sọ o. I look up to you o, answer my call o. Bàbá God o, èmi náà fẹ́ wá range o. Dangote olórí méjì. I beg I dey beg you, Ọlọ́run ọ̀run, èmi náà fẹ́ wá Bentley, Ọ̀tẹ́dọ́lá olórí méjì, I beg I dey beg you, oya na 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 na, oya na 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 na, oya na 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 na, answer my call, yo, they call me workaholic yo.
Now too. Who live?
Advertisements are everywhere. While they once only existed on the radio, television and newspapers, now you seemingly can't even take a few steps without someone trying to sell you something. Over the last generation, the art of advertising has become even more nuanced and carefully created. Still, you know when you see an ad. That's because they really are everywhere. Well, almost everywhere. There's still one place where ads have barely ventured, the final frontier of space. For many reasons, major companies have yet to break out of our atmosphere and sell their goods among the stars. Why is that? More importantly, what would it look like if NASA or any other space agency such as SpaceX made the radical choice to place adverts on their high-flying creations? First of all, it's important to ask the question, why aren't there ads in space? It's surely not because of a lack of real estate, since there's plenty of, well, space to place adverts. In fact, the night sky is a lot like an empty canvas that is technically a perfect place for ads to appear. Would it be expensive and hard to achieve? It certainly would. But would it be worth the time and money? There is no doubt about it. Even if people scoffed at the concept or thought of it as disrespectful or classless, you certainly can't deny that seeing a giant Coca-Cola logo on the side of a ship or satellite will get people talking. One company that has successfully put an ad on a rocket was Pizza Hut. In 2001, Pizza Hut paid roughly $1 million to place their logo on one of Russia's Proton rockets. This agreement also included promotional footage of Usachov giving a thumbs up after eating a slice of pizza. It is said that this placement was so wildly successful despite being the only one of its kind. But there is a reason this was done with a Russian rocket and not an American one. In America, for example, exploration among the stars is regulated and run by NASA, which is a government agency. Since it's a federal body, NASA is restricted from endorsing or even seemingly endorsing any business or product. This is why I've never seen Buzz Aldrin trying to sell you a car. The rules around this have softened over the years. In fact, nowadays, the only steadfast rule is that NASA and its employees cannot partake in whatever is considered as obtrusive advertising. Still, there is only a slim chance that NASA would ever enter a partnership with the company and would allow logos on any of their vehicles. However, SpaceX isn't NASA. It's a federally run company. It still exists on its own. So, what is stopping SpaceX from plastering ads on the sides of a Falcon 9 or Starship? Technically, nothing stopped Elon Musk and his SpaceX from pasting ads on the sides of their ships. SpaceX is a private company, an enterprise that is able to do mostly what...
One of the things that you all have already been looking over and reading through based on stories and anthropological and archaeological evidence is that humans organize themselves based on the geometric shape of the circle. And one of the reasons they were doing so is because of what they were able to observe in the world. Everything worked in a circular fashion, at least in terms of what it meant for their survival. They understood the seasons. They were a cycle. They understood that night and day was a mini-cycle. They understood days of the week, or at least the cycle of weeks. They understood that certain plants would bloom at certain points in time. They learned that animals would migrate based on cycles. If they were on the coast, they could see the cycles of the tide or cycles of the moon. But basically, what we saw here through the observable world was the circle. The circle also applied to social structure, and that's what we're going to talk about today. And one of the key components of this social structure was this idea of matrilinealism. Many of these societies, perhaps not all, but many of these societies were matrilineal. So we're going to talk about what matrilineal means. First, we're going to distinguish it from matriarchal. Matriarchal alludes to the idea that women are in charge, they're bossing everybody around, they're almost like the queens of a society. That's not necessarily what matrilineal means. Matrilineal means that anything of any consequence is passed down in the female line in the family. And when I say consequence, what that could mean in the ancient world was resource distribution, titles, anything that was of import. I don't want to say private property because most of these societies didn't have a notion of private property. That'll come along a little bit later. But that's one of the big distinguishing marks with these matrilineal societies. So let's talk real quickly. How did they come into being? Well, again, it's the observable cycles that lead to the family unit being matrilineal. And the family unit is crucial because that's basically the unit that we're within. We'll talk about larger units after we get through this. So the matrilineal unit of family was circular. Well, how was it circular? What do I mean by a circular family unit? Well, we know how babies are created. You have a man and a woman, and when they love each other very much, some birds and bees will show up, or maybe we learned this in 9th grade health class, and a baby will be formed. All kidding aside, love was not necessarily always a crucial aspect. In fact, it rarely was. The reason we say this is because to ensure as much reproductive power as possible, women likely had many partners. It's a numbers game. It presented many more opportunities to create life and thus perpetuate society. So this more modern notion of marriage, not necessarily a thing. Marriage would actually limit the ability of society to remain strong. We also know that they wanted many more opportunities based on infant mortality rates, low survivability depending on elements, those types of things. Back to the point here, however, matrilineal means that since it is the woman through the observable world, and that one's quite obvious, that gave life and thus perpetuated society at the time, that anything, as I mentioned, of consequence would fall down the woman's line. Because oftentimes, she didn't even know who the father was. And that's okay. She did recognize, however, and societies recognized, that a male influence was crucial towards the development of this child. But since we don't necessarily know who he is, this man's not necessarily going to have a say-so in this child's life. However, she will raise the child for male influence with a male relative of hers. Oftentimes, because of age, it would be a brother, maybe a cousin, and sometimes even a father. But her closest male relative would be the male influence in this child's life. So in this case, let's say it's her brother. And he, of course, will be the one that impacts this child's life and teaches him, regardless of gender, him or her, crucial aspects of society. We don't want to feel too bad for this gentleman over here either, because it is highly likely that he has a female relative who also made a child. This one's happy. And he has an impact on this child's life. And of course, it's highly likely that he also...
Welcome to the African Leadership Series, where we bring you great inspirational speeches of African leaders.
And President John Pombe Magufuli, as if he was a Catholic.
We want the exciting things that we see in sci-fi, in like sci-fi movies and books, we want that to come true one day.
T-minus 3, 2, 1, 0, ignition.
In fact, I think hardly anyone in the public knows that this is happening. Like, how do we, get this message across? Hey, really cool stuff's happening, tune in.
SpaceX is like no other rocket company. They're in an unglamorous building, in the middle of nowhere, in kind of a industrial zone. But when you walk into the doors and all of a sudden you see they're making these pristine, gorgeous rockets. It feels like you've walked into a factory on another planet.
No one has ever really contemplated this in a serious way. In the beginning, we thought, this is so crazy. What are we doing trying to come up with something like this? And then over time, we're like, yeah, it can definitely be done. And now we're just kind of arguing over the details. I went to Russia to look at buying a refurbished ICBM, which is a very trippy experience. It was very bizarre. And when I tell people that, they're like, what? I went to Russia 3 times to look at buying a refurbished ICBM. Because that was the best deal. And I can tell you it was very weird going there in late 2001, 2002, going to the Russian rocket forces and saying, I'd like to buy 2 of your biggest rockets, but you can keep the nuke.
Musk made 3 trips to Russia trying to buy an intercontinental ballistic missile called the Dnieper. Turns out the Dnieper was so expensive his idea never flew. So Musk decided that the only way to get an affordable rocket was to build it himself. And he started SpaceX.
The odds of me coming into the rocket business, not knowing anything about rockets, not having ever built anything, I mean, I would have to be insane if I thought the odds were in my favor.
How did you get the expertise to be the chief technology officer of a rocket ship company?
I do have a physics background. That's helpful as a foundation. And then I read a lot of books and talked to a lot of smart people.
You're self-taught?
Yeah.
Well, self-taught, yes, meaning I don't have an aerospace degree.
So how did you go about acquiring the knowledge?
Well, like I said, I read a lot of books, talked to a lot of people, and have a great team. Raw metal comes in, and then we build the engines, the airframe, the electronics, and we integrate all of that together, and that's all done more or less under one roof.
Metal comes in one end of this factory.
Yeah.
Spaceships come out the other.
Yes.
You know, there are American heroes who don't like this idea. Neil Armstrong, Gene Cernan have both testified against commercial space.
The Book of the Yoruba, Divine Ancestry and Ancient Origins. The purpose of this book is to help clear up and eliminate many of the misconceptions and superstitious mythologies surrounding the Yoruba religion.
Born Sky on the beat.
Say one for the money, two for the dough, three for the shorty. Now I don't blow. One for the money, two for the dough, three for the shorty. Now I don't blow. One for the money.
Operation Warp Speed is not a public health operation carrying out a public health objective. Operation Warp Speed is a military operation executing a military agenda. According to its organizational chart, 60 of the 90 officials of Operation Warp Speed, 2/3 of its leadership structure, are military officials or work for the Department of Defense. Both Pfizer and Moderna are military contractors who were paid by the Department of Defense to develop the novel vaccine platform used in these COVID-19 vaccines.
Hey McLeod, peace and love. I see you're the first person in the building. Can you all hear the music? Tell me if you can hear the music in the chat room. All right, thank you, Auntie. Thank you, Tiff. Chain, chain, chain. Share the show, family. Let them know we're live. Let them know we're live. Let the people know I'm live, family. I see you, Miss Tiffany, in the building. Yes, chain of fools.
Chain a fool.
Young man, where are you from?
I'm from Lagos.
Are you in school?
Yes, but
Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am. But I'm also trying to.
Trying to what? Young man, tell me, what are you trying to do? You are trying to see how you can rob people of their properties? Kí ló ń trying to láti ṣe? Wo young man, jẹ́ kí n sọ fún ẹ. Ó mọ ròyìn. A lọ máa fìfẹ́ pé ọmọ tèmi. A máa fìfẹ́ pé ọmọ tèmi jáde kó máa yọ bọ́rọ́ nílé. Ṣé tó bá tiẹ̀ ní ẹran oníwo ló máa kọ̀yàn pa? Ṣé bí ti gbin náà sọ ni? Ṣé bí ti rú ẹ̀yìn ni? Look at you. Mo wù ẹ́ látòkèdè rẹ̀ mi ò rí nǹkan kan. Wo lórí ẹ̀ bí tọ̀wọ́n cultist. Àwọn kan làwọn bàbá tiẹ̀ nílẹ̀ yìí. Who are your parents? Your mother ní pedigree antecedent tí o ẹ̀ tiẹ̀ ní. Dípò pé kò dá. Now, young man, let me tell you something. Àwọn kan ti ń tàn ẹ́. Wọ́n ní kò fine àbí? Mo béèrè lọ́wọ́ ẹ ní wọ́n lo fine. Ọ̀rọ̀ fine. Fine boy looking stupid. Ọjọ́ tí n bá tún rí ẹsẹ̀ ní bẹ̀rẹ̀ àyíká yìí, I'm going to hand you over to the police. Tó bá létí kó gbọ́, má tẹ̀lé ọmọ mi mọ́. Nítorí tí bá tún mú wà tọmọ mi, tí ẹ bá ẹ nìyẹn. Now, get out of my sight.
But, ma, no one knows tomorrow.
Huh?
I'm not rich now, but and I'm not from a wealthy family. But mommy, I'm not lazy. I work very hard, and I have God, and He will bless me. I know that for sure. I really love your daughter. I really love her, and money cannot buy that.
Shut up. Out of my house.
He's a good man.
He's a good man.
Yes.
How do you know a good man? How do you know he's a good man?
Your mama say, no follow, I never chop. Make you find correct guy. No be love, you go chop. Na me she dey talk about. Ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn ká mi lára o. Jẹ́ n bẹ́sẹ̀ mi sọ̀rọ̀. Make I go hustle. I want to take care of you, baby. So jẹ́ n lọ, I won't belong yo. I want to take care of you, baby. So jẹ́ n lọ.
Thanks to the Great Courses Plus for sponsoring today's video. Incredibly, 5 years have now passed since the New Horizons flyby of Pluto back in 2015. It took a couple of years since then to simply send the data back to Earth, transmitting many gigabytes of data from beyond Pluto using data transfer speeds equivalent to dial-up internet. We've also had some years to closely analyze the data and produce working models, and some new findings have also been unearthed that we didn't immediately notice. So what have we discovered? And what's new since the last Pluto video? I'm Alex McColgan and you're watching Astrum. And together we will have a deep dive into the Pluto data showcasing the remarkable and unique Pluto system like you may never have seen it before. Let's first of all give you a quick bit of context in case you are new to Pluto or it's been a while since you last heard about it. Pluto is a remarkably pretty, tiny world, much smaller than our moon. It's found in the Kuiper belt, a dispersed belt of asteroid or comet-type objects beyond the orbit of Neptune. Its surface consists of predominantly nitrogen ice and small amounts of carbon monoxide, methane and water ice. It's also covered in part by a red and orange substance known as tholins. Tholins are organic compounds that have been irradiated by cosmic rays or ultraviolet light. Pluto also has several small moons, and one really big moon named Charon. Charon is so big compared to Pluto that their center of mass, or the point in which they orbit each other, is a point in space and not within Pluto itself. From this you could actually say that Pluto and Charon are in fact a double dwarf planet system. Pluto has a thin atmosphere, again mainly consisting of nitrogen, although methane